Alright. The key here is I didn't need 4 lights. 3 would work just fine. We're talking about the... the cunt. The... Anyway, the hunt. Or as I call it, the... hold on, maybe we switch it up. There you go. The chunt. Anyway, that's what it's called. Oh, man. That's just good. It's gonna go back there. Yeah, so we're talking about The Hunt. And the only reason why I was really interested in seeing this movie was mainly, like, the controversy shit that happened, where this was, like, pulled a couple times, you know, due to, you know, people being upset and stuff, you know, they're like, how dare they liberal Hollywood talk about my freedom, trying to hunt us, but if we try to kill them, then that's wrong, and it's like, well, okay, you moron. Anyway, mainly that, because, like, watching I remember, like, I heard about the controversy, then I saw the trailer, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, like, I get it, the satire of it, okay, haha, you know. And then you watch the movie. The sad thing is that the movie feels smarter than it thinks it is. Like, the movie is not smart, but it thinks it's a lot smarter, you know? A lot more could have been done with it. Definitely, you know? Like, I feel like they didn't again, like, what you saw in the trailer, all that stuff, like, yeah, they pushed the envelope, but they literally, like, nudged it over, you know? They didn't, like, go. You know what I'm saying? Like, this movie feels like it feels like opposite of The Purge, you know? Like, I guess politically opposite of The Purge, because whereas the Purge is just, like, a bunch of, like, rich white people, usually conservatives, just killing black people. No, that doesn't seem very familiar at all. But this one is rich, oh my god, my eye, rich liberals killing white conservatives. I was supposed to say white liberals. Well, I mean, it could be white liberals killing white liberals, because that's what they do. They're stupid. Anyway, but yeah, it's white people against white people, which is fine. Just keep the minorities out of it. There's even, like, a part in the movie where they were like, what about this black conservative guy that's supposed to, like, be, God, what's that guy with the cowboy hat? Anyway, who cares? But the dude, but it's supposed to be, like, a black conservative. They're like, whoa, we can't do that. They're like, we have to put at least a person of color in here. If not, it's just, you know. This movie could have been, like, they could have went for it, and they didn't. And then they were like, I feel like, God, there was some other movie I watched recently that was also satire, but it feels like with certain movies, it's like, I feel like some of these, like, some of them need to be, like, some people need to read up what satire is. Because there's good satire, and then there's just like, then there's like this, in whatever fucking movie I watched recently that was supposed to be satirical. Oh! Assassination Nation. Jesus Christ. That shit. Yeah, it's like, and again, it's just like Assassination, that ass movie, as I called it, the ass Nate movie. Ugh, yeah, it's warm. Allergies. Anyway, and The Hunt. It's like, they do the surface level of satire, like, get it? Because, you know, because white conservatives are like this. So we're just gonna, like, they don't even, like, go extreme. Like, they really don't know what they're doing. There's a guy online, like, he's got Instagram, Twitter, his name is Brett something, and he does these really good satire, like, rants in the car video, where he plays a white conservative, you know, and he's like, he's got this shirt, it's like the 3 Wolf Moon things, but it's 3 Mike Pence's, and he's like, I don't think so, he's like, it's like, and now and now they want me to wear a mask. Like, he's really good at his satire, because there are times where you're like, I don't know if this is like, you know, like, good satire is when you're not sure if, like, it's like The Onion, shit like that, where it's just like, oh, like, where it's like, it's so good, you're like, I don't know if this is like a joke. Like, that's some good satire where you're like, oh shit, oh my god, like, what do you call that? Like, well, Edgar Wright's really good at satire, but that's also, like, Edgar Wright and his people, they're just funnier, they're better at this. I'm like, why is my forehead just... There we go. But yeah, this like, again, it's just surface level stuff, like, what? Conservatives are like this, liberals are like that, and it's like, okay, yes, okay, we got it. We got the surface level of that. But what else are we gonna go from there, They have the thing where, the people they picked out as the conservatives, they have, Emma Roberts, who I think is, like, probably, like, a daughter of, like, a senator or something, because they had, like, a picture of them. Ike Berlin from Mad TV, like, he's one of the Tiki Torch guys, from Charlottesville. Some lady with a mullet is one of those, like, anti-gay protesters. What else was there? Oh, the big guy who always plays a big guy. He was in, like, Mallrats and stuff, who couldn't see the boat. He's got his own podcast, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, the main character lady is just, like, some angry woman who works at, like, a rent-a-car place or some shit like that. And it's, like, and it's funny, like, the whole concept of this is... So, okay, whereas, like, The Purge, I'm, like, all over the place, but this is what the movie made my brain do. What The Purge is, like, it became, like, a complete government mandate and all that stuff. And so, of course, things happen. Whereas here is, it's so ass backwards. So where it's, like, freaking crazy conservative people, think up of a conspiracy theory, which, when does that not happen? Think of a conspiracy theory and all that stuff. And then Hilary Swank and gang, where it's not true, but then they make it true because of the conspiracy theory. Which they even mentioned that in the movie. They're like, wait, so it's not true, but then you made it happen, so it is true now. And Hilary Swank is like, Hilary Swank does well, but it's also Hilary Swank. Like, she knows what the fuck she's doing. And she's like, yeah, it's true now. Like, she realized, like, she played up the camp. Like, she realized, like, she's the ringleader. She was good at doing, but again, it's Hilary Swank. And it's like the thing in all these other movies where, like, you got the big name person and then you don't know what you're doing with them, And it's like, again, Hilary Swank did really well, but, like, everyone else just kind of, like, again, like, other people, they were doing well, too. The people on, like, the liberal side, then there were some that are, like, again, I get it, the whole point is a lot of these people aren't really people in this satire, they're a caricature, I get it, but at the same time, like, to a point where it's like, come on, like, again, it's bad satire where it's not, there's a way to do this, and they were not doing it right. And yeah, so, and it also made me feel of that movie, like, You're Next, although You're Next was just, like, a dinner party, and then, like, shit happened, and then this girl who's, probably, like, was her dad a fucking Navy SEAL, and then it's just like, okay, and this one is like, you mess with the wrong conservative, you mess with the wrong person from the South, like, that kind of thing. God, just, okay, anyway, so, yeah, so, the conspiracy come to life thing, they capture all these people who, like, it's like Jay and Silent Bob, where they, like, instead of going to these people's houses and confronting them because they left a negative comment online, they, like, capture them, and then have them do, like, this kind of Hunger Games kind of thing, God. And again, each one of them gets picked up, like, Emma Roberts dies, like, immediately. Then there was, like, Chisel Jaw McBeard guy. It's funny, because, like, you think every person is gonna, like, who the main character is, because it's the lady, but you think, like, everyone else is gonna be, like, the lead up to her, where everyone else literally gets picked off one by one. So it's, like, Emma Roberts, so you start off with Emma Roberts, and then she gets, like, her head blown off. And then Chisel McJaw guy, he's like a he's like a game hunter dude, you know, he's pictured next to like a rhino, and it's like, oh, good. Then he dies, and then it's Ike brother-in-law, and he dies at like the gas station kind of thing, and the gas stations run, you know, mom and pop and stuff, and they poisoned the donuts and killed 3 people there. And then the girl comes along, and it's like, she's by herself, and even like in the beginning when they all kind of wake up, you can tell she's already like planning something, because you can see her just kind of like sharpening like her name tag, you know she's probably gonna pick the lock, because they all had like a not a ball gag, but the bar thingy, you know. Although some of them look like it was really loose on their heads, and I feel like if they would have just pulled their hair, like, you know, like if they just pulled their hair, it would have loosened up, but that's just me. But yeah, you could already, like, again, you know she's a main character, you know she's already doing her own thing, but, you know, like, anyway, so I think it was just also not smart to just have her picture as, like, the movie poster kind of thing, like, you know, because then it was just like, you're like, get on with it, it's like a Final Destination thing, I'm like, who's gonna get killed next, you know. Again, I'm all over the place because that's what the movie did to me. So when she gets to the gas station, and then she asks for like a pack of cigarettes and all that stuff, and she's like, oh, where are we? And they're like, Arkansas. And then she knows, like, she gave him like $20, and then she got like $10 and change back for her cigarettes. And then she's like, oh, we're in Arkansas. And then she starts beating up the old people like fucking Bourne Identity all of a sudden. And then she holds like a shotgun to like the lady's face. She's like, cigarette. And then it just like, it's weird. She's like, cigarettes in Arkansas are only 6, blah, blah, blah. You got fucked up. Like, total like, the fuck? And there are other parts in the movie where she's talking to someone, and you can tell she has a bit of to her, because she's like, she's like kind of like does that 1,000-yard stare, and she's like, you know, she kind of does that, and you're like, okay, which again, fine, you know, bitch, fine. But it's like, I don't know, they do all this stuff, turns out they're like in freaking Croatia, you know, and all that stuff, and just, oh my god, like, really, all the way in Croatia? Like, I don't know, like, because the conspiracy theory was there was a place in Vermont, like, why not Vermont? I don't know, maybe because you're in another country, so then I guess if anything happened, it's harder for you to, like, get help. I don't know, man, like, I'm just like, the whole time watching this movie, like, you know. Also, this movie with credits is like 90 minutes. So without credits, it's like not an hour and a half, it's like an hour and like 22 or something, or 25. Like, you know, I was like, wow. Oh my god, it's just so stupid. And then, like, God, yeah, anyway, so they just, my brain is just like, no. Anyway, they end up, oh, what's his name, Dennis from It's Always Sunny is there, which, again, he did well, because he pretty much was playing Dennis, like, this asshole that he, you know, that character is, so there's no, like, another person they didn't utilize very well, you know. Anywho, but yeah, so once, like, you know, the boss battle happens, and Hilary Swank is fighting, you know, crazy Southern lady, and then it's like you realize that, oh, they got the wrong person. Oh, we've got similar names. I sometimes get her mail and all that stuff, but the main difference is that her middle name, there's like an extra, like there's an E after May, and not like mine or blah blah or something like that. And then Hilary Swank's like, wait, what? You know, so it's like, who's this person that they picked up? It's just, like, okay, fine, you know, fine, movie, you know, people make mistakes, you know, and they picked up the wrong person who has a, like, exact name as someone else, but literally, like, a letter or so difference, and somehow she just, like, I think she mentioned that she was in Afghanistan, because, like, there was one part where she's talking to, like, a big National Guard guy, and she, like, fucked him up, and I was like, really, man? Like, I was like, I know he's older, and, you know, she's like really thin and limber, so I was like, oh, maybe that's, you know, why she beat his ass. But then he was like, oh, I'm in National Guard, so she's like, oh, you didn't see any action, I was in Afghanistan. And I was like, cool, awesome. It's, yeah, you know, like, this movie could have been a lot better. It could have been like the Purge movies, where it was like really interesting to, you know, to see and all that stuff. And obviously, as it progressed, it just got more and more ridiculous. You know, it could have been its own like thing. You know, it could have been like The Hunt 2 Boogaloo or whatever. But it's just like, it's just this could have been great. But again, it was just like, just, again, surface level. They didn't really, like, dive deep and just go, like, full-on ridiculous. It was just like, I'm watching, like, uh-huh. Yes, liberals are like that. Yes, conservatives are like that. You know, like the joke of, like, what? Like, I didn't know they ate meat. I thought all them people were vegans. And it's like, uh-huh. And then someone called someone a snowflake, and I'm like, uh-huh. Like, you know, you're like, cool, you're hitting these checkpoints, but what else do you have? You know, it's like getting, like, you know, it's like you're getting, like, critiques on your art. You're like, okay, I see what you got going on, but what else do you have besides, you know, this portrait of a clown pissing in a bucket? Like, does this mean anything? Or is it just a clown pissing in a bucket? If it's just a clown pissing in a bucket, I don't care for that. We need more. We need more substance than a clown pissing in a bucket. Thank you for your 60 grand a year for art school. You know, like this is what it is. Like what are you, like? It's just what is this? You know, they were like, it's funny because, like, you know, I watched The Invisible Man, and the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, oh, well, didn't feel like 2 hours. It was good. You know, the only time I checked what time it was, how much was left, was because I needed a pee. So I was like, oh, let me just pause and let me go pee. Oh, cool, we're halfway through. Awesome. This one, I was just like, oh, God. Like, it was like, we're 49 minutes in. I was like, oh, God. You see, like, the progress bar is, like, 3/4 done. I'm like, oh, Nancy, no. This is not good. It was, I feel like it's one of those, like, I'm disappointed in you. I'm not upset, I'm just disappointed. That's what this feels like. Again, with Ass Nation, it feels the same way, where, like, I get what you're trying to say. I get the joke. I get it. You're here. But what else is there after that? You know? Like, this seems like if you just turn, like, 5 tweets into a movie. Like, you know? Oh, great. You know? It's just, I also feel like the people who are mad saying, like, oh, they want to kill all, it's conservative. It's like, no, if you watch the movie, you realize they're dumb, too. It's just the movie saying everyone's dumb. Which, again, that's fine. I get if that's what we're saying. It's just, what else? It's also, who decorated Hilary Swank's, like, home? That thing was ugly. We're just gonna have random ropes and, you know, we're just gonna have, like, rugs, ropes hanging, just things, all that stuff. We're just gonna, you know, that's what we're gonna do. Just glass everywhere, you know? There's even that joke at one point where during the fight scene where she's like, no more glass, and she opens the door, and I'm like, okay, it's funny, because Hilary Swank is good at what she does. But, like, also the main character chick, there's no point where, like, you know, I would watch it and be like, okay, she's really smart, cool, she didn't fall for the booby trap, she's doing all this stuff, she knows, she's figuring out all that, cool. But at the same time, it's like, I didn't care for the character. It was just like, great. When she got to Hilary Swank's thing, you know there's gonna be like a boss battle thing. You're like, fine. But even her, like, fighting Hilary Swank, at no point was I like, I want her to win, or like, oh god, hope Hilary Swank. I was just kind of like, are they both gonna die? Because I'd be fine if they both died. You know? Just... Jesus. most of the time when a movie is like controversial, most of the time it's not even that big of a deal, and this is definitely one of them. You know, this is complete opposite of Mad Max Fury Road. You know, where I was just like, I was gonna go see Mad Max anyway. Oh, little boys are upset. Well, I'm definitely gonna be, you know. And then you watch a movie, you're like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. Be mad, you know. Whereas this one, it's like, oh, okay, what they're so mad about. I mean, I guess they're mad for the wrong. Like, you watch a movie, you're like, it's not really that much to be mad about. All right, well, I guess be mad then, you know. But yeah, that was the hunt. That was stupid. I don't know, man. I mean, it's a movie you'd like put on, and then a bunch of you and your friends are just kind of like talking. You're not really watching a movie; it's just kind of on, and every so often you're like, oh, you know, like when something happens. But it's not one where you guys sit together, you know, and watch. It's more of just like you gotta put something on the back, you know.